Hello everyone, how you doing today? Thought I'd get an update out and show you some things that I've been working on and a couple things by other authors, Kriel related. To start with on this SV that I haven't named yet, but I'm thinking about the name Banshee because it's kind of related with the ghost and that kind of fits the theme of Kriel more or less. I've been working on this ship a lot and I've got the interior mostly finished finally, short of some sensors and some LCDs again. But tell you what, let's start here. I'm gonna go to darken lighting here in a minute and show you what this looks like inside. Yeah, I don't have sensors on the doors here. So when you first come in, this is the hangar. It's set up with 4 320K storage units and 80K ammo storage. I've got all the parts kind of displayed. I did quite a bit displaying the warp core on this ship, not just from the hangar, but from the floor above as well. So in the hangar, you've got all your regular stuff, cooking station, food processor. I think that's the same thing. I'm in a fridge. You got your med stuff over here. It's a little dark yet, I think. I'm still kind of tweaking the lighting a little bit. I want to make it a little brighter. Issue I have though, when I usually do most lights, unless they're big hangar lights sometimes, at intensity of 2. When I go to intensity of 3, it's almost too much. And so I wish there was kind of a fine-tuned adjustment between the two, or maybe rather than 4 levels of intensity, it would be kind of nice if it went up to like 10, so you could really kind of tweak it out. Of course, I also want to be able to make my own colors for the lights too. That would be really cool. But other than that, this is where this ship's at. It's got pretty much all the features on it. It does not do mining or harvesting. So it does not have storage for that, but it does do everything else. So we've got a shield up there, and pretty much everything is laid out this way. Here, I'm going to get out of God mode a minute, walk around a bit. So if you go straight across, there's a elevator that's kind of offset from the center of the ship. When you come on into this section over here, you have your secure bridge area. Now I plan on doing some LCD lighting to make this look neater when you hop in here. And then you also have a front entry ramp, and I've currently got the core here. I may try to protect it a little bit more, especially on the front side. It's protected quite well on the sides. In fact, this whole room is sort of this area right here has an additional layer of inside combat steel. Now there's a floor above here and quite a bit of blocks below. So, interesting thing, I had to make a circuit for this, but the front entry ramp was weird and a weird size and weird height from the ground. So I had to do 2 ramps to make this work. There is no size of this that would fit my needs for this case. So what I did on the bottom here is I had to extend this out to a secondary ramp that also opens up. But where the circuit came into play is I had to set up sensors that are very accurate because I didn't want this triggering all the time when you're walking around in the secure cockpit. So I had to set up a sensor there and another sensor below. So, and then do them with like an OR circuit so it would trigger both ramps at the same time, depending on where you were located in the ship. But it's pretty accurate too because you can walk right along the side of this ramp without it triggering or right in front. The only place I've got it set to trigger is over the ramp itself in this one particular block right in front of it. But on here is also where the CPU cores are, or I'm sorry, the CPU blocks. So they're in there as well. So when you go up in the elevator, the next floor over here is the farm section. It doesn't have a huge farm. It does have 27 grow plots. I've got some switches over here to turn on the farm lights for each individual section. If you go all the way forward, you go to the first person bridge over here, which is going to have some switches for your main controls and things like that. I did add a drone hatch to the ship as well, so that is going to probably be this button here. Of course, I'm lacking LCDs and stuff again, so and the standard of having a couple extra passenger seats over there. And this actually doesn't go anywhere on the other side right now. Maybe I'll change the texture there, but I'm trying to keep the main path just going down this one side. You can actually walk right through these elevators too, which is neat. So then there's another section which is above the hangar. You can kind of see how I displayed that warp core from this angle as well. Now it's protected and sealed off and everything like that. You can't get fried anywhere around it, but I like the lighting effect that you get from that in conjunction with some of the round stuff on the sides of it. So either stairway here takes you into this back part of the ship up above the hangar, and this again you see the warp core from various different angles. I also got a couple of generators that are kind of mounted in here. There's two other generators in the ship which are not visible. These two are, so it's got 4 of them total. It probably only needs 3, but I kind of like to have a little bit more than you need. I don't know. I'll evaluate that yet. I'm not really worried about the CPU or size class or anything like that. Speaking of size class, the ship ended up being a size class 4. Now, granted, it'll probably go up just a little bit when I get some more sensors and LCDs in here, but I do think it will remain size class 4. I don't think I'm going to kick it over to 5 with what I need to add, since I already got the lighting and stuff in place in the ship. So up here, basically, you've got the warp core, and it kind of keeps you, I think, protected. Let me see if this is safe. Yeah, that's safe. Bet you if you jump up here, you might be able to get some radiation, though. Yeah. And yeah, I've got your detector, and Wi-Fi was on the other side in the same location over here. So, in general flow of the ship for player use, you really don't have to go back here for any particular reason. That's just kind of a place. It's pretty much, you've got all your stuff along this elevator here, which gets you directly to the hangar, to the farm, to the front bridge, and to the secure cockpit or bridge over here. And other than that, that is pretty much it for the ship. Now I gotta look at the oxygen in it yet. I'm pretty sure I'm lacking oxygen in certain rooms yet, because I haven't actually installed ventilators everywhere yet. So I'll have to get that going as well. So I just wanted to show you that, and let me show you some other stuff. I'll get the lighting back on here. Couple Kriel creations by other authors. Seeds is working on this amazing looking, crazy design Kriel ship. And he's up to version 1.15 now, and it looks like he's got underway on texturing it, and I will say it looks great. The texturing is right on line with everything. It looks fantastic. This is quite a big, extensive ship. I can imagine a lot of texturing work to this as well. Now this is a CV. Interior is far from finished yet, but it looks like it's also getting underway. So yeah, it looks really good. I don't really have any advice for you, because you're nailing everything. I mean, even with the type of block work you're doing in here is perfect. I love it. That is, very nice work. Looking forward to seeing this one finished. Now this, I don't exactly know. I think obviously this would probably be a player CV, but it might be a POI as well. I'm not exactly sure. I'll probably have to chat with Siege a little bit about that. Looks amazing though. Next thing is Rhodekill's refinery POI. I've showed this before, but it has a lot more work done to it now, and very, very nice looking POI. I haven't played it yet. I'm trying to collect all the POIs, and I want to go through and give them another big run through test on them yet. I'd say that's probably temporary. I don't know if you need a gravity generator on a base, so I don't think you would anyway. Did I put that there? I don't know. Inside is not fully finished yet, but you can kind of see that it's the layout is in place more or less here, and that's it's looking like it's going to be very, very cool. There's another POI, a lot of different places in here, and different rooms. So this should be pretty interesting too to run through. So there is that one. Other things. It was suggested by another author that, okay, first, don't freak out because you see the space carrier in all white. I did not save over the colored version. But it was suggested to me that maybe I ought to put this in for XCaliber's challenge instead of the ship I'm actually working on that I was trying to get done in time for the challenge, because I was going to have to convert that back to a white box again for it. But this one, I just wanted to see what it would look like in straight up blocks again. And it's... I think it would work for the challenge. I mean, it was about shaping and this and that, and this does have a lot of that going on for it. And it's interesting to take a walk through the interior too when it's all white. You can clearly see a lot of things better. You can see some areas that haven't really been done, like over here, but then other areas that have been kind of done up a lot, like the mess hall area, and there's all these crew rooms and other rooms and more rooms and rooms on top of more rooms. Oh, I missed getting rid of some textures in some places. But yeah, this thing is definitely. Oh, I went into one of the crew rooms over here. It looks a whole lot different, of course, with textures and stuff on it. But kind of get the idea of what this thing is. All these rooms that I was in is just in the front part of the ship here too, and there is just a lot of stuff in this ship. This area here, it's hard to tell too because with all the textures gone, it's hard to tell what's what really. But yeah, this is the farm section, which was done by Scarly. Other sections over here, like this area was. This area is really cool too. There's a lot of different LCDs going on and other stuff. I got some empty rooms yet, like a lower security room down over here, and this massive hospital thing. It looks like I didn't get through here to burn out all the textures on this version yet. Yeah, that was just all on part of the back side here, and then there's other sections in here. And I will show this in depth when I get it done, but I'm going to try to get more work done on this. Not the white box version, but the official version. You never know. There's just so many places, and I will say the vast majority of the interior is complete now. It's just I got to do the bridge, and one big troubling aspect that it's going to need is a big LCD directory system, and quite frankly, I dread it because it's going to take a while. There's a lot of LCDs that I'll want to do. I'd like to make a new format for LCDs, something that looks really nice. It takes advantage of all the new technology and things that you can use with LCDs. And then to try to plot out a directory system throughout the whole ship so you know where you're going, because if you don't get lost in this ship, there's something wrong with you. Well, maybe not something bad wrong with you, but I'm just saying that it's so extensive and there's so many floors and places. In fact, sometimes there's a shooting range in the ship. Sometimes I try to figure out how the heck do I get there again. Do I go down this floor, and do I turn right or left, and do I go down the middle of the ship, or whatnot? It's a lot easier, of course, flying around in God mode, but when you're walking on foot, there's a lot to be said about all these different floors and places all throughout the ship. It just seems almost endless sometimes. And yeah, so here's the shooting range. So I had to go down and then forward. The shooting range also has a tavern and some other stuff going on here too. So there's you gotta have a shooting range. And now I'm trying to figure out where the heck that swimming pool was. You gotta have a swimming pool too. I mean, come on. What kind of ship doesn't have a swimming pool? And is that up or down from here? Oh yeah, Crazy Z's, one of Crazy Z's areas here, which is multi-floored. What I got back? Oh, here's the pool. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not sure why the water disappeared. I didn't actually remove those sensors or the force fields that were doing it, but I'm not seeing them now. Interesting. Oh, I did take them out because it made it look colored. And this is supposed to be all non-colored. In fact, stuff like this. What I've been basically doing too is I just run around and blank out the textures, tell it to fill everything in with this color here. And I have to do that for each individual different colored texture out throughout the ship. Some things you just can't remove, like those, because those are LCDs over there. Yeah. Well, anyway, there is that. Now, a couple other things. When I was in my big Skaar kick there, and I will be again, I was working on a couple HVs. So that's these two over here. Neither one's fully quite finished. This one's pretty close. This is a hauler HV. It's basically for storage. So it's not a tank. It's kind of utility storage. Basically, you've got a couple Gatling guns, a couple turrets. You have some exposed cargo boxes on the side, and those are mostly for decoration. And a couple on the back here as well, but very small interior on this. Does have front cockpit access, and a bunch of your regular stuff. But what it does have, and it excels at, is storage. So it's got 14K regular storage, 1500 harvest storage, and 1500 ammo storage. And then you've got your med, your constructor, armor rack, or armor locker, O2, Wi-Fi. I think it's lacking a detector yet, so I'm going to try to slam one of those in here somewhere. But essentially, if this vehicle has a full block, any full blocks, it's except for maybe that one there. They're pretty much all cargo extensions. But I only use full blocks for it. And, oh, it also has a drone hatch in here too. A little one. And top mount. So that is this guy here. It's pretty agile. I actually built it up with quite a lot of lift thrust. I was comparing the MCRN Mole T1 on the storage it had versus the amount of hover engines it had. This one actually has 2 more than that. Now I have not textured the bottom of this yet because I need to give this some trials and weight and balancing tests to see how it goes. I'm trying to be very balanced with stuff, but I'm dealing with 3 different cargo systems, one being much larger than the other 2. So it's kind of a crapshoot on if it's going to balance right now, and I might have to do some fine tweaks. And it might matter on how much, you know, of what kind of thing you have in the ship at the time too. But yeah, flying this thing around, pretty agile. It needed to have some good thrust and some good lift and I'm hoping it does fine with the cargo storage that it does have in it. And this is pretty cheap. It is a tier 2 CPU item. It's got a close to 700 available CPU yet at tier 2. So this other thing, this was kind of for fun. I think it's out of power right now. Now I know open air HVs aren't necessarily the most practical. They're fine on planets like this that have oxygen, but planets that don't have oxygen, probably problematic. This is a little scout. I haven't put in like storage and stuff. It's going to need some ammo storage, and I kind of wanted to get some other storage on here too. So I might have to bite the bullet and replace some of these blocks here with cargo extensions and use shaped ones, which I normally don't like to do, but this is too small to do anything else with that. It just doesn't. I don't have enough room to add in any kind of decent cargo system. Now this thing is really agile. It jumps around very nicely here. It's got quite a lot of strafing thrust and stuff, and turning and maneuverability and whatever. But it's designed to be a scout. Run around, explore the map, shoot some stuff, and maybe pick up a few things. But it's not like any kind of big haul or anything like that. And I'm still going to be tweaking out parts of the body. Like I've got some little unfinished things here, like trying to figure out what I wanted to do there. But that is that. So those are the two new little things that are kind of coming. In fact, there's a lot of Skaar stuff that's coming, including these like the defense tower and the storage thing. All the things that I'm looking to build when I get time eventually for the Skaar is, well, obviously I haven't even touched the SVs yet, and I really want to build a heavy tank for them as well, and maybe some kind of starter miner type of utility vessel, and of course a couple different SVs, maybe one starter type and then one heavier combat type. So that is kind of in the works for them. That's pretty much all I've got for today. Just curious on your thoughts. Should I throw this in for XCaliber's challenge, or should I put in the white box version of this Kriel gunship? Now, my release plans, I plan on releasing this gunship. This is the player version to the public, or to the workshop this weekend. Probably Sunday again. Usually I get some extra time then to build a post and whatnot. So, and I hopefully, I don't have that much more to do on it anymore. So hopefully it'll be ready to go then, and I can have a little time to tweak it. And I'm still tweaking the body. The body's still kind of plain. I did add some more textures here and there, trying to detail it, but it could use some more tweaking yet. So I'm just kind of looking over all parts of it and trying to come up with something to put there and make it look as best I can, I guess. But I think it should be a pretty fun ship. And oh yeah, final specs wise too, for being a CV, it flies an awful lot like an SV. Maybe not quite as agile as, you know, obviously some SVs out there are really agile, but this does pretty good. So I'm happy about that. Power is very much in check on this one. And that's another thing too. It's kind of been disturbing too. I've been getting comments too. Some of the older creations I have on the workshop, and there's a lot of them that aren't updated. I mean, literally just are not updated. Can I dock this thing on here? Not very well. This is a bit big to be docking on here, but it did dock though, didn't it? It's I've been hearing reports that generators explode on some older creations. There was actually a comment on my the older Scarab SHM2 miner where they spawn it and then the generators explode on it. I'm like, wow, that's just a cruel joke, isn't it? I don't know what to say about that. It's like, was it not have enough generators all of a sudden? It certainly did when it was built, so I don't know why something like that would happen. It's not even a shielded creation. So I'll have to look at that, and it's just kind of bugging me that I'm getting all, so many past things are just dead in the water. And yeah, obviously I spent a little time here trying to get all these Kriel moving things up to Alpha 12, but the human faction is really taking a toll um, on the creations. In fact, I'm going to have to evaluate to figure out what works and what doesn't work on the humans anymore. And I know there's a lot of stuff that just doesn't work. But it's like, well, in my situation, I've got so many creations on the workshop that every time there's a patch or update, it's that would affect how those creations work in game or cause them not to work. It's an absolute nightmare on my part. I got way too many things to do, and I also realize too that when I'm building brand new stuff for the specifications of say like Alpha 12 with the flight model and the container storage system and all the new stuff with power and everything else, that when I build new creations from ground up around that rule set, they'll typically they should turn out better than me trying to fix up older creations. And some of the older creations you could put a lot of time into as well, trying to make them work again. Like the MX5E, that was a prime example of that one. From the original version to the version that's on the workshop now, that was almost like it took me longer to switch it over than it took me to build the ship originally. That was a fairly quick build at about total of about 2.5 hours complete with the interior and everything. And I think I spent 3.5 hours trying to make it work again in Alpha 12, which, so there is that, where it's a lot of times I could build new stuff faster than trying to update some of the older stuff if it's badly out of date at least, and that can happen. I don't know. That's just one of the little things. I hate reading or people are mad and it's like, oh, I wish I would have known this wouldn't worked anymore, and well, I didn't even know it didn't work anymore myself. So it happens. All I can say is like all the newer stuff obviously is going to work again, but a year from now and another say Alpha 13, who knows if all the stuff I'm building now is going to be broken too. And I hope that trend stops, but I understand that when you're developing a game, and it's an alpha, and that is exactly what the rules of alpha mean, that, they're developing it, they're adding in new systems, things will change. I can't be mad about it, and I'm not mad about it. It is a little depressing in some cases. Now, most things I can update to Alpha 12. There are a couple things that aren't very happy with that, but most things can be made to work just fine again. It's just how much time is that going to take? And it wouldn't be so bad if I only had like 10 creations on the workshop, but I don't. I think I'm well over 100, and that makes it even more rough. That's why I'm also a lot of people will do modded versions, updating them to different alpha versions of the game. And typically, if I get wind of it or they send me a comment about it, I almost always add those as a modded version to the post, simply because then the players can like take a look at that one, and that one's been updated to A12 and the original one is like A10 or who knows A9. Then they can use the newer one. And that's cool. It saves me some time. Of course, there is a side effect too. Well, not really a side effect, but in some cases, some people were really nice, and they just sort of like, hey, here's a version of the gas, and it's all set up. Can you just replace the blueprint? And here's a problem. I can't. The way Steam works is, say they had it and they did all that work to it. I grab it again. I name it, to identically match the name of the original Kriel grass. I go to update the blueprint, and it creates a new one because it somehow it unlinks it from the original. That's a workshop post, and the only way I can update that with that other model is to create a whole new post for it. And that is something I don't like to do either. I'm trying to not make more new posts for most updated things unless I went through major changes. I've only done that with a couple ships, I think. Actually, only one. I think the Persis Carrier CV2 was the only one that I actually put out a different post for that's been updated. Because I don't really want to do that with all the creations. And that sucks too, because I've had some people offer to do that, and it's just like, well, I can put it as a modded version on the post, but I can't update the Steam blueprint with the changes you made to it, because whatever security or however it works doesn't allow me to update that any longer with that newer model. I might be able to trick it out maybe if I took the original one, copy pasted the other ship over the top of it, maybe. Actually, that gives me an idea. Haven't tried that one yet, but technically I think that might work. I'll have to play with that. But anyway, you all have yourselves a good day. There's a last thing too. Obviously, there's a lot of talk, and I've been getting people are asking about the space carrier, and yeah, I want to get busy on this again. Doing all this and walking through it, I'm like, oh man, yeah, I got to get this ship done. So what I'm going to try to do here real soon is I'm not going to try to start any more new projects right now, unless it's just something really small and quick. And I'm going to try to put a focus on this, and especially if I go with this idea of using this as the the white box, gray box ship, or for XCaliber's challenge. Instead of that, then I've got some rooms to work out in here, and get some more progress done on it at least. Basically, I've got a couple miscellaneous rooms that are probably pretty quick and easy to do, and then I've got the bridge. And the bridge is, I want the bridge to be really nice. It's going to need a lot of LCDs. It's going to need switches and functions and stuff, and I just want it to just be a very cool place. But I don't know. No buts about it. I just got to get this done. And so many other authors have a lot of work in here too. It's hard to tell with the white box because everything kind of blends in the same. And speaking of that, just so you know, I didn't actually lose the other ship here. I spawn in the colored one here in a minute here. So many things in here. Let's see, what are we at? Super Carrier 23. 23rd revision of this already. So look how long it takes to draw. But yeah, there is the actual textured version, so it looks quite a bit different from the white box version. So yeah, this will I'm gonna try to make this a priority and get this done. I've been dreading, really more than anything else, the LCD work. I don't really enjoy the LCDs, but I feel obligated to try to improve my LCDs. Some other authors are doing just some amazing stuff with the LCDs, and I know they put a lot of time into them to do that. There's a lot of tweaking, and it's kind of rather time consuming and can be kind of annoying building the LCDs, but the end results can be very cool. Extremely cool, actually. And in fact, I think, thinking of theoretical ideas of what you could do with LCDs, I think there's a lot of untapped potential even yet with different things you can do, especially in like 3D kind of environments, projecting multiple LCDs around a person or something like that in different ways. I think you could even take it to a possible another level, but it would take an awful lot of time and effort to do all that stuff. All right. Well, anyway, you all have yourselves a good day. I might have a video tomorrow yet too. I'm not sure yet. I'm gonna try to get some more work done on stuff, and we'll see how it all comes out. All right. See you later.